In Turkey, officials banned an annual May Day gathering in downtown Istanbul, but labor unions and workers defied the order and were met by riot police who fired tear gas and used water cannons in an attempt to disperse thousands of demonstrators. FSRN's Jacob Resneck reports.
More than 20,000 police from around Turkey were deployed in the streets of Istanbul. According to AP figures, government officials ordered the heavy police presence to prevent demonstrators from marching on Taksim Square. As labor unions, opposition parties, and feminist groups converged in different parts of the city, police fired tear gas and used water cannons. Following the military coup in 1980, May Day gatherings were banned, but in 2010, the ruling AK party made May the 1st a legal holiday. For the past 3 years, large parades have passed off peacefully and brought diverse groups to mark Turkey's Labor Day, but this year was different. A controversial redevelopment in Taksim Square is replacing green space with a shopping center and a mosque. Now a construction zone, the government cited health and safety as a reason for cordoning off the square. But trade union groups remained defiant and said they would march anyway. Then, in an extraordinary move Tuesday, city authorities announced a large-scale shutdown of public transportation that frustrated marchers but also paralyzed the city. Özgür, a 35-year-old doctor who, like many protesters, declined to give his full name, arrived in Beşiktaş Square with his wife with the intent of reaching Taksim. Instead, the couple was met by a barrage of tear gas.
We wanted to celebrate, but they are not letting us celebrate peacefully or in any other way anyway. And they are not allowing us to go towards the square anyway.
While the police crackdown diverted attention away from the holiday's focus on labor, many in the streets were members of unions with concrete agendas. Aydin Erol, a 43-year-old hospital lab tech, says the health sector is being privatized at the expense of ordinary people.
Since 2003, the government's health policy has been favoring the private sector. It's serving the interests of richer people at the expense of local communities. Family health services have already been privatized as a first step.
Clashes continued through the day. Government officials said nearly 50 people were injured, including 22 police, while more than 70 were arrested. The second-in-command of Turkey's largest opposition party was also hospitalized for tear gas. At least one Turkish journalist was reported to have been hit by a projectile by a protester, and at least one correspondent was hit by water cannon, damaging his camera. Sheltering in a nearby park with a friend, Suzanne, a 31-year-old computer engineer and member of a feminist collective that joined the march, said the May Day events showed that democracy has its limits in Turkey.
The government really hates workers and people who are, and women as well, but they really hate people who are against government. But it is freedom of speech, and we have to be able to say what we think. But today it's really impossible even walk on the street. So it's kind of totalitarianism, not like democracy.
Taksim Square has a particular resonance for leftists in Turkey. 36 years ago, more than 30 May Day protesters were killed after unidentified gunmen fired into the square. Since then, groups have made the pilgrimage, often defying government bans, and demonstrators here says they'll continue to march on Taksim with or without official sanction. Jacob Resneck, FSRN, Istanbul.